Hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Jill here for our Wednesday Q&A session in my Empowered Fitness community for women 40 plus looking to get energized, confident, and strong. For those of you who are new, welcome. Today is the day that we go over your questions and concerns and start to get some answers. And I've added the link to book a game plan call with me in addition in the post here, and you are welcome to use that link and book a time for you and I to go over what you're going through personally and devise a strategy for you to get past whatever's holding you back from getting you to where you want to be. And so you can go ahead and book a time if there's a time available that works for you. And if you have any questions, just let me know. If you are on here live, just let me know below. I see Evie just showed up. And if you watch on the replay, let me know. Let me know what you learned. Let me know what your existing questions are. And if there's anything you want to talk to me about personally, then go ahead and book a call with me. This is a really great way for us to get to know if we'd be a good fit to work with each other along the journey, and for you to get just a little more insight as to what's going on. A lot of times when I hop on a call with somebody, I'll take a bunch of notes, they'll tell me a lot of things, we'll identify problem areas that either they knew were existing, but they don't know how to change, or that they didn't even know was the problem. And so that's really helpful when I can help identify those things. So when it comes to you ladies in this group, I'm gonna just take a little sampling of you and let you know what's going on. So when you join the group, you answer a few questions, and they really help me know exactly what's going on with you and where we need to be focusing our time and our energy in creating new programs and doing new webinars. And so I do have a webinar. I'm still working on finishing it, and we'll get that up soon, and we'll announce when we do that live. And of course, it'll be available on the replay as well. And so this is always interesting. So when you answer these questions, one of the questions coming in is, what is holding you back from achieving success in your health and fitness? And I'm gonna just run across the line here of about 20 of you, 15, 20 of you, and let you know what everybody's going through. And you're gonna probably hear some recurring things, and then we'll go over some of them at the end, okay? So, and if you wanna drop for me what's holding you back in your journey, you can let me know below. So we've got Jane who says knowledge, and sometimes it's a lack of knowledge, but other times it is a complete overwhelm of so many different things out there, and understanding which things are good for us and which things we should just shut our eyes to. So knowledge can be tricky because you might need new knowledge, and you might need to hear something that you've heard before, but hear it again from the right person or in the right way that resonates with you. And sometimes it's just weeding through the knowledge. Jackie, who I had a great call with yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago, says she's confused as to what to eat. And yes, and so actually I have Jackie's notes right here. She was so confused as to what to eat that she said she didn't know what to eat, so she wasn't eating. And we decided that she was definitely under eating, and we needed to get her some education. So we've got to get Jackie on board here with some framework, some structure. If we are completely aimlessly going about our journey, then we are definitely not beelining it to our goals. And many of you will never achieve your goals if you don't know what you're doing, have consistency in doing the right thing, and see it through properly. Diana says she's lacking will. So that sounds like willpower, which I do have another webinar. If you haven't seen it, actually right now you can find it in the Triple Threat Challenge Guide. I had it as a bonus in the last Triple Threat, and it is the 5 barriers that are holding women back from getting weight loss success. And so one of the barriers, one of the things was relying on willpower. And we don't want to be relying on willpower. This shouldn't take willpower. Can you imagine waking up every day and saying, oh, I have to use my willpower today all day long just to not eat all the wrong things. Like, that's a lot of pressure on a person, right? That's not going to work. Your willpower is not that strong, right? And so we need to make sure that we are doing this in a way that doesn't even require willpower from you, but makes the journey so much easier. So let's see. Teresa says knowledge as well. Cheryl says motivation. And for any of you who've been in here since Monday, you know that I do a Monday motivation talk every Monday, and that you should binge watch them all because it's going to pound in a lot of the same themes, but it's said in a different way every single week. So number one, tune in for those Motivation Mondays. They're in your email. If you're on my email, then you're going to be getting those after I do them as well. And listen. Just listen to it, because motivation is actually not necessary either. Like, we don't need to rely on willpower. We don't have to rely on motivation. If we want a result, we have to take action. And whether you are motivated to take the action or you just take it anyways, that's going to be the key sometimes, okay? But we can absolutely up that motivation. And you know what brings motivation is results. And so if you took action without being motivated and you got some amazing results, then you might be more motivated. That makes sense? So taking small action, no matter what, you have to take some kind of action. It has to be new action. It can't be the same, doing the same or more of the same stuff that's not getting you anywhere. Joanne says menopause is holding her back. But it doesn't have to, Joanne. I promise you it doesn't have to. You just have to know how to manage it and how to move through during this time frame, which is what I do and how I help my clients. So I know that you can do it too. Michelle says motivation and a sustainable plan. So I love that. Yes, your plan has to be sustainable. Otherwise, you won't see it through and your results won't stick. So you're right, Michelle. Motivation, again, not necessary, but let's get that up. Go ahead and binge watch all those Motivation Monday videos that I've done. They're all organized in a guide in our group, okay? Deborah says her age is holding her back. That's not a good one. Deborah, age does not hold anybody back unless you're not doing the things. And so you can do the things at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whenever. And as long as you're doing the right things, that's not going to hold you back. So I don't take that one. Kristen says not knowing the proper things to do. And I'm glad that Kristen and I had a call because we now have the proper things to do. I know she had lost 4 pounds in a week. I think it was in a week on the Kickstart Cleanse. And I was just in touch with Kristen today because she felt like some of the weight had come back on. And so she and I had to go over why weight will come on, despite the fact that she said she feels like her clothes are fitting better. So that one is a mindset thing, holding yourself back with your mindset, because you're letting a scale that just tells you what your relationship between gravity and the ground is in that given moment. You're letting that dictate your action, or are you still doing the same things that you got to do? And so I had a little pep talk with Kristen, and I'm going to make sure she knows the things to do and knows to see them through, and she will continue to get results, and that the scales can just signal different things, water retention, and other things, okay? Esther says time is holding her back, and Esther, I'm excited for you because I just filmed the last workout today of my new 10-minute tone-up program. And that is the first time I've ever said the name of it to anybody outside of myself and my family. Hey guys, I'm going in to record the 10-minute tone-up workouts. And so that is coming this fall. It'll be our challenge between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if I might be looking for some testers, because it's always good when I put out a program to have the testimonials of people who've done the program. So if you would like a discount on that program, I will give you 50% off if you just put hashtag 10-minute tone up in the, I think that's what I called it. Welcome to 10-minute tone up. Yeah, I did. Just put hashtag 10-minute tone up if you want 50% off. It's a 3-week program. It's 21 10-minute workouts, and we'll get you in as a tester. All I ask is that you do the program and don't come in and not do it, and then give me some feedback on what the results are and how you feel. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. So, okay, so there's that announcement. There you go. Let's see. We have I Always Fail, Christensen. So guess what? That's a story you're telling yourself. And that was actually in that barriers webinar too. Go into the guides. I don't know what the number is, but it is in the guides here. It's in the Triple Threat Guide. It's Breaking the Barrier. And I might have that linked as well in our banner in this group. But if you hold yourself back by saying that you've always failed and so you'll always fail, then you will always fail, because that is the story that you are telling yourself. And what you need to do is you need to visualize yourself succeeding, and you need to do something different that will carry you towards success. And so I will tell you that if you hire me as your coach, I will not let you fail. That is one of the cool things about having a coach and having a program and having a plan. And even today, I'm doing a challenge right now with another coach. And after 1 week, we saw people would post their progress, and you had a lot of people who made some incredible changes. Some of them kind of unbelievable. Some of them look great. And some people who said, oh my God, this is the worst. I'm the worst. I didn't get any results this week, and I feel awful and I want to just quit. And the coaches went into this group today and said, okay, reality check. Number one, if you're super upset because you didn't get the results that other people got in the same amount of time, then maybe you're just your expectations were too high. Not everybody's body is going to change at the same rate. And number two is maybe you didn't realize what it was going to take to get the results. And number three, maybe you just didn't follow the plan. And so you kind of have to have this reality check sometimes. Are you failing because you're always quitting before you get to the finish line? Are you failing because you never fully commit to one thing and you're always trying to jump to the next thing? Or what is it? We have to identify those things. And so that's the kind of thing that we go over on the game plan calls. So the link is in the post here. What we do is we hop on and we get to know each other a little bit. And I ask you, where you're at now and where you want to be, and what's been holding you back, which is what you're telling me today. And then we got to figure out what is going to be the thing that will change and propel you forward so that you don't fail anymore or feel like you're failing. What will bring success? And part of it is having belief in yourself, in the process, and in me as your coach, or in the program, in other ladies who've done the same thing, who are in this position that you're in, who've done the same thing and have gotten great results. Because the science says if you follow the plans that are meant for you and you see them through for as long as it takes, then you will achieve the most incredible things. And so it takes doing the work for as long as it takes and having faith that it will happen. That's actually not my concept. I have to tell you, I'm a big reader. Sometimes it's listening. And that comes from a book. I think is it a Hal Elrod book? I think it is. The Miracle Equation. Incredible book about how it's going to take you massive action, a whole lot of faith, and sticking with it as long as it takes to get to your goal. So pick up that book. It's a good one. Okay. All right. Margaret says what's holding her back is inconsistency in her nutrition. Okay. That will hold you back. So we have to find consistency, and we have to find a nutrition framework that is sustainable and enjoyable. And then it won't be so hard to be consistent. Lisa says motivation. We've heard that. Janet says time, energy, and money. That's a lot of things holding you back, Janet. We got to figure out how we can do this. I think that the holiday challenge will be great for you because it will be very short time. Therefore, we won't be overdoing it on expending energy, but we'll be creating energy. And maybe you can save up and this can be a holiday gift for yourself. So, yeah. Ruth says she's not sure what's holding her back. And Tracy says menopause and knowledge. So menopause-wise for Joanne and Tracy, I've got all that knowledge for you. And you just need to figure out if you want to learn it on more of a do-it-yourself basis and get into my menopausal metabolism reboot program, or if you want to do it with me coaching you through it and we can figure out what the best plan of action is for you. We can keep you excited with private coaching calls and that kind of stuff. So there's many ways to be coached and to have a program based on what fits for you, what you need, and what you might be able to afford. Okay, so let's get to some individual questions. Hi, Barbara, Tony, Kelly, Alicia. Hi, everybody. Let me know if you're here live. Let me know if you're here on the replay. So Jane asks how to get through this weight loss journey without shots and prescription drugs. Well, if you recall, this whole shots and prescription drugs thing is a very new thing. And people have been losing weight forever and people have been gaining weight. And so you can absolutely 100% get through this journey without shots and prescription drugs. And in fact, it is a much smarter choice because they're finding a lot of issues that these drugs have really bad side effects, cause cancers, you become dependent on them, maybe they run out of them, your funding runs out for them, there's plateau points. The latest I had read was 18 months, that if you keep doing that same thing, then it's going to plateau. You're going to need more and more. They've had a lot of issues with overdose and calls into the overdose hotline or I think drug abuse hotline. Children getting their hands on it. Children getting the wrong idea of how to deal with weight gain or wanting to improve, how you look, that is the most important thing in life. There is a lot that goes along with this whole, I would say, epidemic of weight loss and drug connection. And so really what we need to do is we need to practice healthy habits. And it's not just that, because being healthy does not mean that you lose weight. It doesn't mean you get to your best body. And so what that means is having the proper nutrition, the proper fitness plan, the proper recovery plan, and the proper plan for you taking care of your mental wellness and your mindset in the journey. And so you can do this. We do it together. And this is what I chose to teach and to do as my second career after I left being a VP of finance and accounting, commercial real estate. Just wasn't doing it for me. So now this is my passion and this is what I do. And I love teaching, especially Jane, who says knowledge is holding her back. Let's get all that knowledge in your hands. And, and if people often ask, well, what sets your program, apart from other people doing this? And I think it's truly the care that I take with each person in hearing your journey and your specific lifestyle and the things that are happening in your life, because I have strategies for different people. Even Jackie, whose notes I have here, who I was talking to just the other day, she already used a strategy that I gave her and she said that was great, it worked. And it had to do with her love for Pinot Grigio. And I like Pinot Grigio too, but I rarely drink it anymore. But that's what we can do, is we can really, we can do this. I know you can. And I love to give people the confidence, because I have confidence in you. And I love to bestow the knowledge and the confidence and not hold back on giving you all the tools that you need to succeed for the long term. Okay, let's see. So Jackie asked, why didn't I have success with keto, Weight Watchers, or Optavia? And so I will tell you the reasons for those things, because those are three very restrictive programs. They are restriction based. and you have to cut food groups out, and you have to be very strict on what you're eating. And it's very hard to maintain the lifestyle. There's different nuances about each of those programs. I'm very familiar with all three of them. I've only done one, which was Weight Watchers, when I was probably a teenager into my 20s, because my mother was doing it, and is still Lifetime. But the problem with those things is that it becomes very restrictive. We don't like to be restricted for too long. If I tell you you're never gonna be able to eat an Oreo again in your life, all you're gonna want to think is, I just want to eat an Oreo. And so really what works better, rather than cutting carbs and cutting calories, is going to be balance. And also, the Weight Watchers does not promote balance. They tell you you can eat as much watermelon, as many eggs as you want in a day, which doesn't work, because that will lead to much overeating. They also have that particular program is it's like a punishment based theory of how it would work, and they actually changed their name because they're getting a lot of flack for Weight Watchers. But I learned recently that from our vet, that you don't teach, we have a new puppy, you don't teach him what not to do with, yelling at him, but you teach him what to do with the reward of him doing the right things. And so charging people, or, making them feel bad because they didn't hit a weight, which weight is not the story anyways. You can dehydrate yourself to make your weight so that you don't have to pay at Weight Watchers. It's just not a healthy approach. We need a healthy approach. So number one, you need a healthy approach, you need a balanced approach, and you need something that will be sustainable so that you will have long-term success. Something that is a joy, right? So if you're no longer allowed to eat any carbs, have a drink, have a piece of cake, have anything exciting anymore, then you will absolutely have a hard time. So we want to not look at food as the enemy, as something that will ruin us, but we want to look at it as the fuel, as the joy that it brings to us, and not feel a whole lot of shame when we've done the wrong things or eaten the wrong things. So that would be my take as to why those things did not work. And perhaps they were lacking support, positive support. Okay. Cheryl wants to know how hormones impact weight loss. So generally what's happening, especially because your estrogen and your progesterone are decreasing during this phase of life, when you're premenopause through postmenopause, and those used to be the protectors against your insulin resistance, and they helped you to not gain weight. They helped your hunger hormones. They helped you to regulate your insulin, and they are now decreasing. And so that is a big way that hormones impact weight loss. Hormones are also highly driven by stress. And at this stage of life, we have a lot of stresses, right? Whether it is our families, our society, our physical changes, what's going on in your body. And on top of that, we have many women who create their own stress with regards to nutrition and not eating properly for their stage of life. And we have, whether it's eating too little, too much carbs, too little fat, too little protein, whatever it is. And we also have women who are overdoing it with exercise, doing all the HIIT workouts and all the excess cardio that maybe used to work and doesn't work anymore, and just sends our bodies into stress mode. Or they're not doing any workouts, they're not doing the right workouts, and they're losing muscle mass and bone mass, and again, their body is like totally out of whack. They're struggling to sleep, right? When we struggle to sleep, cortisol is released in all of these. And so cortisol is, is a chemical in your body that is going to create more weight. Our body is going to hold on to the fat, especially around the midsection. So what can we do about all this? And this is more deeply explained in my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot Masterclass. But what we need to do is we need to control stress. right? Because that's at the top of the pyramid, is affecting everything. We need to have a balanced nutrition framework for this period in life where blood sugar regulation becomes very important. And we need to have a proper strength training program, which will help combat the loss of muscle and bone mass during this period as well. So these are all things that we have to do. We have to have them all come together harmoniously to see that weight gain reverse and to see the changes that you want to see now. Okay. Michelle wants to know, how do I succeed when she's struggling with motivation and a sustainable plan? So we create a sustainable plan for you that works with your lifestyle, that works with your goals, right? So we have to identify our goal. And once we identify our goal, whether it's toning, building muscle, fat loss, weight loss, being healthy, reducing hot flashes, right? Whatever the goal is, we have to identify it. And then we have to match the fitness to the goal, right? So do you just want to be thin and not be very muscular or not be very toned, but just be thin and be flexible and, and zen? Then maybe yoga is the perfect pairing. But if you want to be strong and toned and lean and not feel the skinny fat or even the fat, right? Then we would have to start working on our muscle building, which is going to be strength training. So we've got different approaches. And then whether you are just looking for fat loss or if you are looking for strength training and building muscle, then your nutrition is going to have to match your fitness, which is going to have to match your goals, which also has to match the time frame of life, the period of life that you're in. So there's a lot of things that have to come together in order to succeed. And that's why it's a lot more helpful to use a professional who knows and creates these things than to try to bang your head against the wall and do all the little things that you see everywhere in this YouTube video and that, diet that you saw on Instagram and all these things, because it's hard. I've spent many years trying to do all the different things and it just wasn't working until I had a coach, a fitness plan, and a nutrition system that all work together in harmony for my goals. And that same nutrition system and fitness plan and coach, they're not right for me now because that was maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago, right? And so things change and we change, all right? Let's see. Esther says, I was 130 pounds 2 years ago. Why all the weight gain? So it could be two things. It could be from the changes in your body, natural changes of aging and going through this stage of life. And it could be that you've changed your habits and that you're not doing the things that would have kept your weight the same. And so we need to start doing those things. Most often we look this way and that way to blame things, but really we need to say, am I doing the things? Am I doing it? Do I know what the things are, right? Do I know what I'm supposed to do? And am I doing it? And am I doing it consistently, right? Nobody got skinny by eating one salad and nobody got fat by eating one piece of pizza either. So we have to be doing the right things most of the time in order to move the needle. You're never in one place, although I always feel like you get on the scale and I'm like, how is that the same exact number down to the ounce, like 4 days in a row? But we're never really static. We're always moving one direction or the other. And so you're either doing things that are benefiting you or you're doing things that aren't benefiting you. And you're on this constant moving scale. And what we want to do is we want to be doing most things that benefit us most of the time. And really to the degree that you do those things, that is going to be the degree to which you get results. So I always say that I can move the needle forward in my nutrition if I eat 70 to 75% clean. Then I can probably see myself going the right way. If I'm eating 50 to 60% clean, then I'm probably either staying the same or going backwards. And anything under 50%, scale's gonna go up pretty quickly.
If I want to be at my really great body that I'm comfortable in and enjoying little things here and there, 80 to 85% does it. If I want to be on the bikini competition stage, 90% to 100%. And if I want to win that competition, then I've got to give it 110%, quite honestly. You know, does that make sense, right? So that's the scale that I see. And so if you feel like you're not in the place that you want to be, you got to be honest. You got to say to yourself, scale of 1 to 100, where do I fall? Where have I been falling? And really, you know, go within. Say, can I do better? Right? This was an interesting wake-up call for me yesterday. Like I think I had mentioned earlier. So I'm in this 4-week challenge. It is a fat shredding challenge. And we were given a meal plan and we were given a exercise routine. And the grand prize in just 4 weeks is $20,000. And I was like, I think I can do this. And so in week 1, I followed the plan and I followed it pretty well. And it even said that you could have a cheat meal one day. And so I didn't have a full meal, but I did steal some fries from one kid and a bite of chicken from another and had the last bite of the Oreo shake from the place I took them to. And so I said, okay, that was my cheat meal, right? It wasn't a whole meal, but I was like, that's enough, that's good. And then I'm listening to the coach last night and somebody had asked her, you know, is that cheat meal, or we call it a refeed meal in bodybuilding. And somebody asked, is that a refeed meal? Like, do you want us to eat it because it's going to make our results better? Because sometimes as we're doing a lot of hard work, we're depleting what's called glycogen, and we need to restore that in our bloodstream. And if you've been going a very long time eating super clean, it actually can help you to have this refeed meal. But the coach said, well, if I was in a contest for 4 weeks and the grand prize was $20,000, I wouldn't be eating any cheat meals or refeed meals. And I was like, oh man, I ate like 2 M&Ms off my husband's desk earlier. I was like, I ain't doing that anymore. Like, I got to go 110% now. And then she was saying that, you know, you got people who at the end of this challenge are going to win this challenge and their results are going to be so incredible. And she's going to interview them and say, you know, what do you think it was? Like, how did you become the winner? What did you do? And they're going to say, well, you told me to do this much working out, but I doubled it because I wanted to go all in and I really wanted to win. And she's going to be like, wow, amazing. And everybody else is going to be like, you cheater, you did more than the plan. You didn't follow the plan. And she's like, that person wanted to win and did what it took, because it's always going to take doing more than what you think in order to get the best results. And it's true. I've heard this from so many of my mentors. So you have to really give more than you think in order to get the results that you want. And some people don't like to hear that. They really don't. But if you want to get ahead in life, you got to be a doer and an action taker. You really got to go hard. So if you want the happy body, then just eat 80%. You'll be good, you know? All right. So Christensen says, why do I have such a hard time losing weight at age 63? It's just what I said. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort to get results. And so we've got to figure out what it's going to take. And then we're going to have to figure out, what are you happy with, right? And she says, I just want to lose weight. And so we have to say, like, well, if we can take the baby steps to make some lifestyle changes and get you in the right direction, and you're saying, okay, this is working, I want to do more of this. And a really, really great example of this is one of my clients, Pilar. And she put her faith in me. She saw me on the driving range one day and she was like, I want that girl's body. And so she signed up with me as a client, and her belief in what we're doing has just continued to grow and grow. I'm trying to find her in my system here and tell you how much weight she's lost in the last few months. I mean, it's remarkable. I don't know when the last time she checked in is, but I'll bring up her little weight loss chart here. But, you know, her desire to continue to go further and to make more and more gains. I mean, you could tell she's doing more. She's doing more than I even give her. We were talking the other day. She's doing all of her lifting workouts, and then she took me to Zumba, and she took her husband to yoga on the same day. And there's just, I mean, she's just like, she's loving life. So Pilar has now lost 40 freaking pounds. 40 pounds. We started together. Her first weigh-in was March 26th here. And September 19th, 6 days ago, I'm sure she's probably below that now. 40 pounds, right? Amazing, amazing stuff. And you know what? I don't have any other clients right now who lost 40 pounds in the last March to September, 6 months, 5 months. Because I know Pilar is going above and beyond. And that is what it takes. I got to tell all my clients that. Learn a lesson from Pilar. She's doing so fantastic. And so that gave me drive too in my own challenge. I want to go above and beyond because I want to win, right? I want to do this. So you got to decide, do you want to do this, right? Okay, let's take a couple more questions, even though we're going a little long. Just did a couple more stories today. So Lisa wants to know, how do I get rid of a flabby gut? Number 1, nutrition. Number 2, exercises for the core, right? Jill's Killer Abs. That is the program for core strength and for getting a 6-pack, plus weightlifting. That's something that, okay, so in my current program, literally there's no ab workouts. And so I'm asking the question, like, should we do abs? And the answer to me was, well, and I knew this as a personal trainer, all of our lifting uses our abs. And I'm like, but I'm an abs girl and I created an abs program, so I'm going to add that. And I'm going to have the ripped 6-pack in 3 weeks. Very visual because I'm shredding fat. I will have that 6-pack because I've been doing Jill's Killer Abs for 2.5 years now, every single month. And the first of the month is coming. And so I'm going to be starting it over again. And so I think training your abs is going to help you feel stronger through here. And it's also going to help you stand taller. But also you can have abs underneath and not have it show if you've got too much body fat. So we might need to start shedding that fat. And Lisa says she's got about 25 pounds to lose. So here's the thing too, though, is Lisa said that motivation is holding her back. If I had a flabby gut, that would be my motivation because I'd probably feel pretty uncomfortable, right? If I was saying that, I got a flabby gut, I hate it, I want to get rid of it, that's your motivation to do the work, okay? To not feel that way about your flabby gut. All right, Janet says, why can't I lose the weight and keep it off? Because you're not putting in the effort. Most likely, you're not putting in the effort and you're not doing it with the right plan. So set up a call. It's so simple. Super simple. And the longer you wait to start, the more prolonged those results are going to be. You're not going to get them if you don't start, okay? Ruth says, why is it so hard to lose the weight? Because you're not doing the right things and you're not giving it enough effort. That's probably why. And you don't know what the right things are because you said you're not sure what's holding you back. So we need to identify those. So you got to book a call, okay? And lastly, Tracy, what's the best exercise and food choice during menopause? It is all very, very clearly outlined in my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot program. And you can do that again on your own, or you can do it with me coaching you through it. It's time to be ready to chat, Tracy, or just invest in the program and everything will be clearly spelled out and you will no longer have any excuse to not get to your goals, okay? So let me know you watched. Let me know what you took away from this today, any good nuggets that you learned. Book your call and let's keep moving forward. Ask me for anything I mentioned, whether it's Jill's Killer Abs, Menopausal Metabolism Reboot, my Empowered Fitness Mastery coaching program where my best clients are there getting the most amazing results like Pilar. And let's do this. Okay? Love you guys. Bye.